Hello and welcome to Tea is Good, Books Are Better, the podcast where we drink tea and talk about books. I'm Raven.
Jess.
What's happening?
Purple wedding, y'all.
Oh yeah, oh shit. We need air horns, we need like cheering and clapping.
Hell yeah.
So as you can tell, we're not tired at all. We're just very excited about the Purple Wedding.
Heck.
I'm not yawning right now. I'm just gasping at the prospect of the Purple
Ready
Wedding.
to read this monster chapter. And it doubly sucked when I was like halfway writing it. Power went out and killed it.
Oh yeah.
And then like the next day I start rewriting it and then the power goes out again and kills it.
Can you guys believe this shit? This is a cursed chapter. It's cursed.
God. Whenever it's summer I forget the winds. Fall and spring.
Are we in a fucking valley or something? Because it's always very... Like, when it gets windy here, it's always very windy. It's never, like, mildly windy.
It's true. I wonder if it's the proximity to the ocean that causes it to be windy as fuck. Anyway.
What are we drinking today?
I'm still finishing off my delicious iced coffee.
Okay. Shall we get into it?
Yes.
All right. Where did we leave him off?
Last time, he was sneaking out in the wee hours of the morning before the wedding to fuck around with Shay. And then he feels like extremely guilty. Not guilty, anxious for her life. Decides that he's gonna find her another man, get rid of her. Once and for all, keep her safe.
Wow. Chapter 60.
60, huh?
How many chapters were in the last one? Let me take a quick peek.
No idea, yeah.
I am curious. No idea. Okay. A Clash of Kings had 69 chapters.
There's more than 69 in this one?
I don't know. We're at 60 now.
Yeah. I think there's more than 9 chapters left.
A Game of Thrones had 72 chapters.
Yeah, there's way more than 9 chapters left next.
Interesting.
That fucking book.
Yep. We'll see which is the longest.
Ooh.
All right. Chapter 60, Tyrion.
The couple looks beautiful. Marjorie is dressed in ivory silk and Moorish lace, with her skirts decorated in floral patterns made of tiny pearls.
Okay.
Her mating...
Sorry, just like real quick before we move too far. I imagine it's pronounced Moorish lace. Do you think it's from Marine?
Yep.
Is it?
Probably. I mean, I knew it was around in Essos somewhere, but I had no idea.
Okay.
Oh my god, that makes so much sense if it's Moorish.
Yeah.
Lace from Marie.
Anyway. Sorry to interrupt.
Her maiden's cloak is green velvet with 100 gold roses sewn on. Joffrey is in a dusty rose doublet with a crimson cloak with a stag and lion on it. Tyrion is doing the potty dance. He forgot to pee before leaving the castle and is now regretting it. He had like lots of wine for breakfast. He just forgot.
Yeah.
And the no sleep from the night before is also hitting him hard as well. So that sucks for him. Tyrion is convinced that it was Joffrey who ordered Bran Stark's assassination. He remembers Joffrey joking with the Hound, saying, "Send a dog to kill a wolf," back when they're at Winterfell. He thinks Joffrey must have found the cutthroat amongst the free riders and the camp followers that followed them to and from King's Landing. Though he doesn't know why Joffrey would want Bran dead. He thinks perhaps it's just his cruel nature. I was a little bit like iffy about that. Like, huh. Like, would he send an assassin after Bran for no good reason?
That's the question. Like, it's this took me completely by surprise.
Yeah. I remember in the show that Tyrion made Joffrey go and like offer his condolences to Catelyn, but did he do that in the book? I don't remember.
Oh.
I wonder if it was like payback for being forced to. If he did do it, it was payback for being forced to offer his condolences to weeping women.
Oh, interesting. I don't remember in the books whether he does it.
So I don't. Otherwise, I really don't understand why he would want to kill.
See, that's the ultimate question. But can we go back a little bit first before we get there? Like, okay, first of all, how did Tyrion figure this out? Like, this just came out of the blue.
Something happened in the last chapter that had him thinking about this, I think. Because I was like, that Sansa chapter was like the first chapter, I think, that we got of Tyrion making the connection.
Yeah,
between
so
Joffrey and Bran.
Yeah, so in the last episode, I mentioned a couple things to keep in mind that we would be talking about in this episode, because I didn't want to like spoil this bit here. But yeah, this is basically what I was talking about in that last episode. The first part that comes up in Sansa's chapter before this one, at the breakfast with the Lannisters and the Tyrell men, when Joffrey is all upset about the book and tears it to pieces and demands a new present from Tyrion and Sansa, Tyrion suggests a dagger of Valyrian steel with a dragon bone hilt, which is the dagger that the assassin tried to kill Bran with. So that's the first thing that we notice with him bringing up the Bran thing to Joffrey, right?
First instance where Tyrion correlates them both.
But obviously he had to have suspicions already for him to bring this up at all. So
Yeah.
where did these suspicions come from in the first place? Like he doesn't talk about it at all.
That's like what did Joffrey do to make him think this?
Exactly.
I don't remember at all if there's like other chapters where he like sees hints or clues. I don't think it's like Tyrion to just jump to conclusions like this. Like randomly blaming.
And then Tyrion seems so sure about it.
He does.
Even though he has no motive.
Yeah.
So I just find it very confusing.
I agree with you. I didn't really agree with Tyrion at all.
Right.
That it was Joffrey who ordered this assassination.
But Tyrion's a very smart man, so if he's like thinking this, then I'm inclined to believe him. But at the same time, I'm like, where are you getting this information from?
Why aren't you sharing your info, Tyrion?
Like, are we just stupid and we're missing something here? Or are we gonna find out more later?
Man. I have no idea. Tyrion.
Like, I don't get where the suspicion even came from. Like, what is the first thing that made him suspect Joffrey? That's what I want to know.
Oh?
Are you spoiling stuff
I
for yourself?
Googled it. No, I just read a little bit of like some ideas, and one of them was exactly what I said. It was probably to get back at Tyrion for being forced to show condolences to Catelyn, and then Tyrion also slapped him.
So that did happen in the book.
I guess so, but who knows if that's why? Because it, like the first sentence was like we're guessing probably this.
I don't know. Fuck, I don't remember if it happens in the book. I could go grab it now, but I feel like it's...
Joffrey, when he uses his sword to cut the book in half, he says, "I am no stranger to Valyrian steel."
What?
Apparently he says that in the last chapter. And that would be unusual because Valyrian steel is very rare. in Westeros. And the Lannisters don't have any.
Hang on.
Valyrians stay ill.
I don't remember him saying that. I remember someone saying that Valyrian steel is very sharp, and he said, I know.
Oh.
Is that what that means?
Maybe. But apparently that's what ticked off Tyrion into suspecting him.
Oh. Hang on. Okay, I found the page. Have a care, your grace, Sir Adam Marbrand warned the king. Valyrian steel is perilously sharp. Oh, he says, I remember. Joffrey brought Widow's Wail down in a savage two-handed slice onto the book that Tyrion had given him. The heavy leather cover parted at a stroke. Sharp. I told you, I am no stranger to Valyrian steel. Oh, he does say it. It took him half a dozen further cuts to hack the thick tome apart, and the boy was breathless by the time he was done. Sansa could feel her husband struggling with his fury as Sir Osmond Kettleblack shouted, I pray you never turn that wicked edge on me, sire. See that you never give me cause, sir. Joffrey flicked a chunk of Lives of Four Kings off the table at sword point, then slid Widow's Wail back into its scabbard. Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah.
You and Lady Sansa owe me a better present, Uncle Imp. This one is all chopped to pieces. Tyrion was staring at his nephew with his mismatched eyes. Perhaps a knife, sire, to match your sword. A dagger of the same fine Valyrian steel, with a dragonbone hilt, say. Joff gave him a sharp look. You... Yes, a dagger to match my sword. Good. He nodded. A goat hilt with rubies in it. Dragonbone is too plain. As you wish, your grace. Tyrion drank another cup of wine. Okay. I can see that.
Okay.
So Joffrey says, I remember, when someone says Valyrian steel is sharp. And then says he's no stranger to Valyrian steel. And then chops up the book. And when we get back to Tyrion, he's staring at Joffrey. And I think it is important that that line is there. Tyrion was staring at his nephew with his mismatched eyes. I mean, there's not really any point to bringing that up, because he's obviously looking at him, unless there is significance to this stare.
Yeah.
So that does seem like that's when Tyrion would be realizing it.
Yeah.
And then I guess Joffrey's reaction to Tyrion's suggestion of the dagger with a dragonbone hilt, Joffrey's reaction is very much like kind of confirming his suspicions.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have an immediate answer like Joffrey probably would. He hesitates and then is stumbling over his words. Sorry?
Surprised that Joffrey even remembers
Right.
that he did this. Because he's the kind of person to just completely forget the next day.
Right?
It's like, oh, did I send that assassin?
And it's especially surprising that he would remember what the blade looked like, but
yeah,
I guess he's clearly enchanted by the idea of Valyrian steel, so maybe when he did give that dagger to the assassin, it's because he liked that dagger, so he wanted it to be the one to kill Bran Stark or something. I don't know, but
probably, yeah.
Right now he seems enchanted by Valyrian steel, so he probably would pay attention to that dagger if it was Valyrian steel.
Yeah, he probably did. I didn't notice Joffrey's reaction to the Valyrian steel or to Tyrion's comment as being very important.
Do you think it is now?
Maybe. I'm considering it. I'm still kind of iffy about Joffrey sending the cutthroat, because then suddenly there is no plan. It's just chaos. Chaos, I tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a motive. I guess it's possible that it was because he was bitter about having to send his condolences about Bran, but
why kill the kid? Rails? I don't get it. Okay.
It seems like a pretty outlandish reaction, but at the same time it is Joffrey we're talking about here.
True that.
But I mean, even for him, where's the sense in it?
Exactly. I guess I cannot begin to try to understand how Joffrey works.
True.
Right. Let's continue.
Okay.
The 7 vows are made, 7 blessings are invoked, and the 7 promises are exchanged. Mace Tyrell removes Marjorie's maiden cloak, and Joff puts his cloak on her. He declares his love for her and gives her a long kiss, and then the High Septon declares them man and wife. Sir Loras and Sir Mern lead the procession out with Tyrion and Sansa in tow, Sansa holding onto Tyrion's arm stiffly. They get in queue to congratulate the newlyweds, then they get the fuck out. In the litter, Sansa is just staring blankly at her hands, and Tyrion thinks that she is just as beautiful as Marjorie, if not more, especially since her face is haunted by grief, which gives her a vulnerable look that makes him want to comfort her. He suggests bringing her to Casterly Rock and showing her all of his favorite places in an attempt to make her smile, but she responds isolate that she'll go wherever her lord husband wishes and that it'll please her to please him. Tyrion feels foolish to think that he of all people would be able to comfort her, but he continues. Maybe they should visit Braavos instead, but he gets the same cold, courteous response, so they continue their journey in silence.
I thought it was very interesting how he thinks of Sansa's courtesy as armor.
Mm-hmm. I think he totally gets her. It is totally an armor. Like, he sees her, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think it's very, I say this a lot about George's characters, but I think it's very real for women in general. Well, I don't want to be exclusive by saying just women, but femme people, I guess.
Women who are socialized, women are socialized into being really polite and friendly.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, we're just bitches.
Yeah, there's that, and it's also like not wanting to insult someone by saying what's really on your mind or by saying anything rude. So it's always like, be polite and don't cause any drama.
Causing trouble.
And it is kind of like a form of armor. I think it is kind of ingrained in us to be polite as a way of defending ourselves as well. Like, say, some random creepy guy is hitting on you on the bus. Most women and femmes, I think, are more likely to politely decline.
Yeah.
And say, no, thank you, and that sort of thing.
And, like, smile and, like, talk quietly and timidly.
Yeah, instead of saying, get the fuck out of my face, which is what we all want to say.
And the woman who does say, get the fuck out of my face, is usually seen as overreacting or being crazy.
Yeah, and it's also, like, you are kind of opening the door, maybe, for, like, a bigger reaction from the guy.
Yeah. You gotta keep them calm.
So staying polite is a way of keeping the man calm, exactly, so that he doesn't try and hurt you.
Yep.
So it is kind of like an armor. That was a very long-winded explanation, but we got there in the end.
There's a podcast I listen to, Crime Junkie. They have a motto of be rude, be weird, stay alive, something like that. Because a lot of women end up getting kidnapped or even murdered because they're too polite to follow their gut instinct of staying away from someone who gives them the bad vibes.
Right.
I like this motto of theirs.
There's
be weird, be rude.
There's a new trend on TikTok in which there are, like, girls showing different dance moves to, like, freak out the dudes on the dance floor and make them stay away from you. And it's very it's like comedic, but it's fun at the same time.
I bet it is. It sounds funny.
Yeah.
Alright, I want to continue.
Go on.
Back at the castle, Tyrion immediately searches for a privy. Yeah, and relieves himself. Feels so good he compares it to sex.
Okay, dude.
Then he continues to drink glass after glass of wine.
Relatable.
Eventually, Pod fetches him to get him ready for the wedding feast. And they head to his chambers where Shay is doing Sansa's hair. He thinks of them as polar opposites when he sees them together. Joy and grief, laughter and tears. Sansa is dressed in a gown of silvery satin trimmed in vair, which I had to Google.
Is
vair. It's a squirrel pelt.
Apparently. A what pelt?
A variety of squirrel used in the 13th and 14th centuries as trimming or lining it for garments.
Oh, shit. That's interesting.
Her sleeves are long enough to almost touch the floor and are lined in felt, and her hair is artfully arranged inside a delicate silver hairnet adorned with dark purple gemstones.
Nothing significant about those.
Tyrion tells her that she'll be the most beautiful woman in the hall that night. She politely tells him that he is kind. Shay asks Sansa if she can come to the feast as well, because she wants to see the big pigeon pie. But Sansa awkwardly says that the queen already has her servants, and Tyrion just shuts it down, annoyed. He's like, fuck off, Shay, what do you want? He continues to drink as Pod gets undressed. Then he escorts Sansa to the courtyard outside the kitchen keep, where they walk around performing the courtesies. As they do, Tyrion is impressed with how well Sansa small talks with the other lords and ladies, and thinks that she could have made a good queen if Joffrey could have loved her. And he wonders if Joff is even capable of love. Probably not. Lady Olenna greets Sansa, complimenting her beauty, and says that the wind has gone out her hair, though, and starts fussing with her hairnet. She tells Sansa that she is sorry for her losses. Even though her brother was a traitor, it was not right to have him murdered at a wedding, especially since men are already scared of weddings.
Wow. Oh, the irony.
Nice one. She tells
Lady Olenna. She doth protest too much.
Yep. She tells Sansa that she's going back to Highgarden in a couple of days, and asks if Sansa will visit her sometime. Sansa tells her that she's kind, but her place is beside her lord husband. Lady Olenna looks at Tyrion and says that she assumed he'd be off fighting wars. And Tyrion jokes a war of dragons and stags, meaning the crown's treachery.
Oh, I see. I was like, wait, what? Yeah.
They call their money those thingies.
Yeah.
Dragons and stags.
Indeed.
She says it must be a pain in the ass collecting that debt, and he's like, no, the others do the collecting for me. Yeah, he's not gonna go around begging at people's doors and threatening them with knives.
Nope.
Bronn does that.
He just sends Bronn. And the city guard or whatever, I don't know.
She makes a lot of sly remarks about dwarfs' pennies that I didn't understand. It seemed kind of important. I don't know.
Oh, you didn't write it down, did you?
I wrote down page 817.
Okay, let me find this. I leave the collecting to others, my lady. Oh, do you? I would have thought you might want to tend to it yourself. We can't have the crown being cheated of its dwarf's pennies now, can we? Huh.
Yeah, sounded like it, yep.
What?
Didn't really know what to make of it. Lady Olenna says pretty sly things, so that's why I took note of it.
She is very, she's a very sassy lady, yeah.
Tyrion excuses them from her, and Lady Olenna pets Sansa's head before tottering off with her 2 giant bodyguards. Second time she touched Sansa's hairnet.
Not that that's important.
No, not at all. Let's forget about this. Joffrey and Marjorie ride in afterwards when they're inside where they're gonna eat dinner hall. A hall? Okay. Joffrey and Marjorie ride in on matching white chargers, which I had to Google, like, what's the difference between chargers and horses? And they're apparently just destriers.
Which means what?
A big horse. Big war horse.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're on matching white chargers with pages running ahead, scattering rose petals beneath the horse's hooves. Joffrey is now wearing striped red and black breeches and a gold doublet with black satin sleeves and onyx studs. And Marjorie is in a revealing, shoulderless, pale green dress with tight-laced bodice. And she's wearing a slim gold crown. Wow. But she's queen now.
They look good.
Yeah. Cersei, Lord Tywin, Lancel, and Sir Kevin embrace and kiss Marjorie, while Joffrey is embraced and kissed by Mace, Loras, and Garland Tyrell. Tyrion and Sansa are seated to Joffrey's far right, which Tyrion thought, like, he was like, if this were a normal relationship, he would have been insulted, but he just wants to be as far the fuck away from Joffrey as he can get.
Mm-hmm.
Joffrey calls for the cups to be filled and toasts his wife, and everyone raises their glasses to Marjorie. I do describe the dishes.
Oh, nice.
They sounded pretty fascinating. The first dish is a creamy mushroom soup with buttered snails. Tyrion gobbles it down, thinking 76 dishes to go. While Sansa has a spoonful before pushing it away to save space for the other dishes.
Yeah.
The next dish is coffin pastry filled with pork, pine nuts, and eggs. Pine nuts are expensive as fuck. Fancy.
Are they?
They're like the most expensive nut that I've seen in baking aisles.
Oh.
They're delicious though.
I don't shop for nuts.
There's a contest for the singers. Apparently whoever performs the best song wins a golden lute. So there were a lot of singers lined up with their own songs to enchant the king and queen with.
Right.
The first singer is Hamish the Harper. He starts his song, Lord Renly's a Ride. Apparently the people of King's Landing truly believe that it was Renly's ghost who saved King's Landing from Stannis. And this is what the song is about. He's like praising
What the fuck?
Renly's change of heart after death to save his nephew.
That is very confusing.
Yeah. He sings a few more songs while dish after dish arrive. When he's done, an old dancing bear takes his place while Moonboy and Butterbumps run around being fools. They eat trout cooked in a crushed almond crust.
Ooh.
They have roast heron. They have cheese and onion pies. Crabs boiled in hot spices. Trenchers filled with chunks of mutton stewed in almond milk. Carrot, raisins, and onions. Pintoshi acrobats perform cartwheels and other fun Cirque du Soleil feats. And then there's another singer, Colio Queenis of Tyrosh, sings his songs. So far, each singer has sung The Reigns of Castamere. Tyrion is sick of it, but he understands that they're all trying to butter up Tywin a little.
Right.
Tyrion tries to engage Sansa by asking which singer she likes the most, and she admits that she's not been listening to them at all. Tyrion asks if she's okay, and then he instantly chastises himself for being a fool. His kin has murdered her kin, duh.
Oh yeah, I'm great.
She responds politely and just looks away.
It's a good wedding.
Right?
Having the time of my life.
Hell yeah.
That guy over there chopped my dad's head off.
True that. 4 pyromancers conjure flame beasts that fight each other, and they are followed by a whole bunch of circus folk while they eat slivers of swan poached in saffron and peach sauce.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah. Another singer, Galleon of Koi, arrives with a long song about the battle on the Blackwater. By this point, Tyrion is sick of the singers, and he's pretty drunk. So he starts to loudly comment on the verses, or he'll add his own, much to the amusement of Sir Garland Tyrell and his lady wife, Lady Leonette, who are sitting right beside them. Lady Leonette thinks Tyrion should be a singer because he rhymes so well. But Sir Garland tells her no, that he was made to do great deeds. And it was because of Tyrion's chain and wildfire that Stannis was not able to get to King's Landing, and because of Tyrion's wildlings who killed Stannis' scouts that they were able to creep up behind their army.
Someone who respects Tyrion.
Yeah, I was like, damn. This guy actually gets what Tyrion did. Like, everyone else seems to like just dismiss Tyrion and act like he's some like dumbass fool, but this guy like sees Tyrion for who he is.
Yeah. What's this guy's name again?
It's Sir Garland Tyrell.
Oh, it's a Tyrell.
He's one of Loras's older brothers.
Oh, he's the oldest.
Ah, next in line.
Yeah, I think so. It's Garland, and then
the one that Sansa was.
Yeah.
Willem? I think it was Willem.
Willis.
Willis or Willem? Willis? Okay.
Willis. So Garland, Willis, and then it's Marjorie, and then Loras? Yeah, Marjorie's older.
Is Marjorie older?
She's 16 and Loras is like 15, right?
Damn,
Wait, maybe I have that backwards.
I thought Loras was 16.
He might be older. Fuck.
Oh, well.
Too lazy to look it up.
They're pretty much the same age.
They're twins. They're not.
Tyrion feels very grateful that at least someone appreciated what he did for King's Landing.
Let's remember Garland Tyrell.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens to him.
He seems to be a good person.
Yeah.
Galleon is singing some verses about the king and his mother when Sansa blurts out that Cersei never did something that the singer claimed. And Tyrion tells her to never believe everything in songs.
Oh, that's
one...
not something that Sansa's gonna learn. We know that.
I think this one is going to teach her. Like, everyone's been telling her, like, don't believe songs, and then finally she actually, like,
disagrees with the song.
To get it.
Right.
Yeah, like, she realizes, wait, this isn't true.
I want to know what the song was saying.
Yeah. I think it was something about Cersei being a strong thing for Joffrey or something. Who knows?
Oh, okay.
It was something about praising Cersei's bravery or courage or something, I think.
It says she never did that. That's what Sansa says, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Sansa would have had to be there to know that she never did something.
Sansa was with Cersei during the battle of the Blackwater.
Oh, it's about the battle. Right.
Yeah. Anywho, soon it's nighttime and Galleon is still singing since his song has 77 verses.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine? Like, I get why Tyrion is so over it. Yeah. He just wants to shoot himself.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. By the time he is done, half of the guests are drunk enough that they are shouting their own verses. Joffrey lurches to his feet and very drunkenly calls for his royal jousters. A pair of dwarves come in. One is riding an ugly gray dog and the other a big sow. One is dressed in gold with a stag on his shield. The one on the sow, I'm guessing. And the other is in gray and white with a wolf on his shield. I'm guessing that's the guy on the gray dog. Tyrion looks around to see everyone laughing, except for Sansa, who he loved in that moment just for that.
Aww.
He recognizes that it is not the dwarves' fault and plans on giving them a fat purse of silver and then finding out whose idea this was to arrange a special thanks for them. They tourney back and forth, acting the fool, much to the amusement of everyone, until the stag knight Lance takes off the head of the wolf knight. This freaked me out because I was like, whoa!
Me too. Wait, like, he literally just killed him? Like, what is this, a Dothraki wedding?
That the head is revealed to be a watermelon after many shrieks from the crowd. Joffrey declares the stag knight the champion, but not a true champion, as a true champion must defeat all of his foes. And then he orders Tyrion to join in the battle on top of the pig.
The fuck?
Yup. Everyone laughs and Tyrion climbs on top of the table and says he'll only do it if Joffrey rides the dog.
Oh.
Joffrey's confused and Tyrion tells him that he is the only man in this hall he is capable of defeating. Tyrion jumps off the table to the sound of shocked silence. Sir Garland tells Tyrion to watch out, and when Tyrion turns around, Joffrey is right there holding onto his great wedding chalice. He lifts it up and dumps all of the wine on top of Tyrion. It's my little shower.
I fucking hated this part in the show.
Yeah, except it wasn't a huge chalice. It was just a regular one.
It's still, though. It's just like...
Still, like, it's freaking... Ugh.
Something like, about it is so...
Very petty.
Yeah, I don't have a word that's, like, disrespectful, I guess, but, like, it's on another level.
Yeah. Tyrion thanks him for the honor of being served from his wedding chalice. Well, it's a pity it's spilt. I skipped this, but Sir Garland kind of tells Joff off a little. Like he like says like he mutters something like that wasn't right, or that was, ooh, ugh.
Ooh, let me try and find it.
He said it was very proper. Like that was
uncouth. I guess it's important to note that Joffrey is fucking hammered.
Yeah, he's drunk. The most drunk Tyrion's ever seen him.
Yeah, like drunker than Tyrion himself. Oh yeah, you're right. So Sir Garland warns him. He's like, "My lord, beware the king."
Yeah.
And that's when Tyrion turns around, gets the chalice dumped on him.
And then Sir Garland says something.
Oh yeah, Sir Garland says quietly, "That was ill done, your grace."
That was ill done. But I don't think
I like Sir Garland.
Yeah.
He's a homie.
He is.
He's the opposite solid character? What's the opposite of a shit list? A homie list? Sir Garland is on the homie list. Gold star for him.
Tyrion thanks him for the honor of being served from his wedding chalice, but it's a pity it's spilt. Joffrey tells him that he was not serving him, but Queen Marjorie appears and tries to lead him back for a toast. It's like, my uncle wants to toast us. Joffrey says that he has no wine and orders Tyrion to fill his chalice and tells him that he will be his cupbearer. Tyrion says it will be an honor, and Joffrey screams that it's not an honor. And like I imagine him stomping his foot. It's not an honor.
Honestly, I love the way Tyrion just pisses him off by being polite and acting like everything he does is wonderful and kingly.
He's not phased.
Yeah.
Which is what Joffrey is literally trying to do.
Yeah.
That's what he gets his kicks off of.
Tyrion just knows exactly what's going to piss him off, and I think it's amazing.
#winning. He makes Tyrion get on his knees before accepting the full chalice from him. Lord Tywin calls Joffrey over as the pie is coming. Joffrey leads Marjorie down as the great pie is wheeled down the hall. It's 2 yards long, and they can hear the squeaks and thumping coming from inside.
Whoa.
I didn't realize that a yard isn't that big.
A yard is like 2.5 meters or something, isn't it?
I think it was like almost 2 meters.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's still huge.
It's still a fucking big pie. But when I saw 2 yards, I was thinking like, is this the size of the freaking hall? I'm like, what?
Okay, no.
Yards aren't that big.
Hey everyone, just a quick aside. We just became affiliates of Buzzsprout, which is the hosting platform we use for our podcast. If you are interested in creating your own podcast, please consider using Buzzsprout. It made it easy to get our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and dozens of other streaming platforms. They also provide you with a podcast website, detailed analytics to see how your episodes are performing, and tons of guides on how to improve your listenability. And if you follow our link in the episode description, you will get a $20 Amazon gift card when you sign up for a paid plan, and it helps support our show. Thank you. Back to the episode.
Joffrey orders Sir Ilyn to hand over his sword, and he does. The sword is 6 feet long and is the same red-black as Joff's widow's wail. Sansa is horrified. She clutches Tyrion's arm and asks what they did with her father's sword.
I totally forgot that Ilyn Payne has ice.
He did have ice. Ice is gone now.
No, I think it is ice, but they've, like, done something to it.
They melted it down. That's how Joffrey got his widow's wail, and how now Sir Ilyn has his 6-foot sword. It used to be a mighty, much bigger great sword than just the 6 feet.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. Yup.
Oh my
it's
god.
It's one of the most horrifying things that I think the Lannisters did, or what Tywin did, was taking this ancient Valyrian steel sword and melting it down to create 2 new ones.
Like it was nothing.
For the Lannisters. Yeah.
Bastardizing the ancient sword. It's disgusting.
Of the old Starks.
Yeah.
Anyways. Tyrion regretfully thinks that he should have sent ice back to Robb Stark, along with his father's bones.
Ice, no!
Yeah. No way. Together, Joffrey and Marjorie slice the pie with the great sword, and the doves burst out flying in all directions. Everyone applauds, and Joff whirls Marjorie around in a dance. Everyone is served an actual pigeon pie, as the big one was just for show. It was just crust and birds.
And didn't, like, a bird get killed or something?
I don't recall.
Yeah.
Did?
I think
did not read that.
he might have chopped one bird or something, so it's like a bloody mess.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Manila. Tyrion has no appetite, and he sees Sansa's not eating either. So he offers to take her out for some fresh air, but Joffrey sees them trying to escape and reminds Tyrion that he is his cupbearer. Tyrion says that he just wants to change into fresh clothes, because his are soaked in wine. But Joffrey refuses and orders Tyrion to refill his chalice. Tyrion has to stand on a chair to refill the cup, and Joffrey snatches it from Tyrion and drinks long and deep. Marjorie tells Joffrey that her uncle wants to toast them, but Joffrey orders Tyrion to eat some pie, takes a fistful from Tyrion's plate, and then jams it into his own mouth to make a point of, like, it's delicious. Joffrey coughs, saying that it's dry, though, and drinks some more wine. He tries to tell Tyrion that he wants to see him on that pig, but is coughing throughout and keeps drinking more wine. And soon he cannot smeek. He cannot speak, and he's just coughing. Queen Marjorie says that he's choking, and Lady Olenna screeches, "Help your king!" Sir Garland jumps up and starts pounding Joffrey's back as Sir Osmond Kettleback rips open his collar. A high, thin sound comes from Joff, and then silence, which is scarier than that thin sound.
Because then that means he's not breathing anymore.
Nope.
Fuck.
People are screaming at each other. The High Septon begins to pray. The Grand Maester Pycelle shouts for help to get to his potions. There's chaos everywhere. Joffrey is clawing at his neck, gouging at the flesh, revealing muscles as hard as stone.
Oh my god.
This was not this gruesome in the show, but god damn. This is gruesome as fuck.
The show gets pretty fucked.
The panic it takes to rip at your own flesh like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been totally gruesome to see that in the show, though. I'm ripping open his throat. Or trying to. What? Tyrion realizes. Yeah. Tyrion has a moment of clarity where he's like, oh my god, he's going to die. And he watches, feeling curiously calm while the chaos is all around him. Like, imagine like it being like pretty like slow-mo as he's dying.
Huh.
While just screaming and chaos.
I think
around.
like some of the guests are even like fleeing.
Yeah, it starts to happen. Yeah. Sir Mern pries open Joff's mouth and jams a spoon down his throat. And Joffrey and Tyrion's eyes meet. Tyrion realizes that Joffrey has Jaime's eyes, but he's never seen Jaime so scared.
Ooh.
Joffrey tries to speak and only make a dry clacking noise. His eyes bulge white with terror, and then he points to Tyrion. Cersei wails, begging their father to help. Tyrion looks to see how Sansa is reacting, but he cannot find her in the chaos. Tyrion approaches the chalice, and he peers inside before emptying it on top of the floor. It's just wine. That's all he sees.
Mm-hmm.
The musicians and guests are running out, and Tyrion realizes that maybe he should join them.
Yeah.
He hears Cersei scream, and he knows Joffrey is dead. He tells himself to get the fuck out and run, but instead he goes to his sister. Cersei is cradling Joffrey's body as Tywin tells her he's dead and to let him go. The High Septon starts praying a prayer for the dead, and Queen Marjorie sobs as her mother consoles her, telling her that he choked on the pie, it's not her fault. Cersei angrily says that her son did not choke, he was poisoned, and she calls on the Kingsguard to arrest Tyrion and Sansa, for they murdered the king.
Oh shit.
Ah shit!
I cannot wait to get to this part in the show with Eric.
like he definitely knows that he dies, but like to watch it while getting to know Tyrion after all these seasons, I am excited for that too.
Not just Tyrion, but also getting to know Joffrey. Like,
oh, that's what I meant, Joffrey. I didn't know Joffrey.
Like, yeah, Eric knows the scene because he's seen like it's everywhere. It's all over the internet. Obviously, it's all over the internet. But now he's gonna understand like the pure satisfaction of watching Joffrey die.
I'm also excited for him to watch the Red Wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Even though he knows what's gonna happen, but he's gonna, you know, gonna feel some feelings for these characters soon.
He knows a lot of main characters are going to die in the Red Wedding, but he doesn't know who and he doesn't know how.
Yeah.
He'll figure out pretty quick as soon as the episode starts who it's going to be. But
When
he won't know how.
When they parade Rob's body out, please pause it and point it out. Because that is sick.
That is sick indeed.
Mm-mm.
I will make sure Eric sees. Anyway, Joffrey's fucking dead.
Joffrey is fucking dead, and poor Tyrion and Sansa are gonna get arrested now.
I remember that part from the show too. It's like, oh, cheering, like, thank God, Joffrey's dead, woohoo! And then it's like, arrest Tyrion and Sansa, and it's like, ah, fuck.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
Couldn't have 2 seconds of relief.
Right? You get so excited and it's only, oh no.
Yeah.
Trouble.
Big trouble.
I noticed that Jaime's not there. In the show, Jaime and Brienne are there.
Oh, are they?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so Cersei has to go through this by herself.
Oh, get fucked, Cersei.
Like Tywin's reaction. She's like, oh, he's dead, let him go.
He's so matter of fact.
He doesn't care.
No.
Yes, he takes Widow's Wail. Not Widow's Wail. Is it Widow's Wail? It is.
His new sword, yeah.
Yeah, he just takes it like, okay, going to the next one. I don't even care.
Melt this down again.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember in the show Sansa noticing what happened to Ice. I don't think she does in the show.
I honestly don't remember Ice from the show at all, except when it belonged to Ned.
I think Ice was around in the first season, and then you see the scene where Tyrion has it melted down for the 2 new swords.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Like a season starts off with it being melted down. Maybe the start of season 3. Who knows?
Well, we can look out for it now and see if Sansa notices anything.
Yeah.
I did also notice in this chapter there's mention of the mountain capturing Harrenhal. So that has happened.
Ooh.
But we don't yet. I don't think we know what happened to Vargo Hoat yet. Like, they didn't say anything about him. I don't think.
Not yet. No.
And there's also a mention of Lord Randall Tarly is now holding Duskendale. And that is the place that Robb was so upset about all the time. That they, like, spent their troops to go to Duskendale. You remember that?
Huh. They ended up not even having it or losing it.
Yeah, so I still don't know what exactly happened with Duskendale, and we've talked about this a bunch and have no answers. But, I mean, the main idea I'm getting is that whichever troops of his went to Duskendale were rebelling against him. So they were doing something that he did not want. He's like, why the fuck are they going to Duskendale? Why are we holding Duskendale? Like, what the hell? So I'm thinking maybe they were doing that just to kind of remove themselves from... I don't know which group it was, but I think they were doing it to remove themselves from Robb's war and basically hand it off to the Lannisters.
Okay. Sure.
But I don't remember which group this was.
If it were the Karstarks, it'd be believable.
Yeah. So maybe... I don't know. Maybe it was the Karstarks. Maybe it was, like, someone who's like the Boltons. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's the sense that I'm getting. We still don't really have definitive answers about what the fuck happened at Duskendale. I just wanted to bring up that point about Lord Randall Tarly holding it, because we've talked about Duskendale so much already.
We have. Like, we're, like, confused every single time.
Yeah, but now we like, have another little factoid. Or Lord Randall Tarly is holding it now. Sam's Vaja.
Ooh. Sam's Vaja?
Yeah. So, fun facts.
Nice.
Anyway, that's all I really have on this chapter. Did you have anything else?
It definitely would have been more gruesome The whole description of him choking, Joffrey choking in his throat, like the whole description of the sound coming from his throat and then like it stopping and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely very gruesome.
Yeah.
I feel like the show definitely made it softer. It wasn't as terrible. I guess a lot of the scenes, a lot of the violence in this show has been toned down a ton compared to the books.
But the crazy part is that it's not mild in the show.
No, it's considered like shocking.
I remember watching The Purple Wedding, and I was horrified. I mean, I was satisfied, but I was also like, oh my god, this is insane.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing to watch. The guy you want him to die, but in the day, this is a kid.
Oh, I don't care that he's a kid. It's just like watching a human being
being choked, suffocating, right in front of everyone.
Choke and suffocate and die.
Panic.
And just watching what happens to his face and his body. It's like, and his eyes.
Oh yeah, the bloodshot eyes.
Like it's. Ugh.
That was freaky.
Yeah.
You see him like afterwards, like dead, little something trickling from his mouth, all purple faced, red eyed.
Oh god.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Purple is such a gruesome name for that.
The Purple Wedding.
Mm.
That was not a George thing. That was a fan thing.
That is so gruesome. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, it's crazy to read the book and find out that the book is even more insane when it comes to those kinds of scenes.
Yeah. Horrific.
Even more brutal, yeah.
All of the violence, everything, it's way more horrific.
Yeah.
Which I was not expecting when I read the books for the first time. Or like even just now, reading the books with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had just forgotten just how like freaking violent everything is. Violent and gruesome.
It's easy to kind of forget how intense things get.
Yeah.
Like even watching the show again, I don't remember which scene specifically, but watching it now again with Eric, I remembered a couple times already so far, I've been like, oh my god, like they show that?
Right? Yeah, that's right. So it was Game of Thrones was so controversial and all that.
Right,
It was pushing boundaries, I think, for TV shows. What do you think made Tyrion go to his sister when he should have been running away? Getting the hell out of Dodge.
That's a good question. Well, my gut reaction answer to that would be a morbid curiosity. He wanted to watch Joffrey die. And he wanted to see what was going to happen.
See if he really was dead?
Yeah, see if he was really dead and see what happened to him.
Yeah. I wonder if it was like some base, like deep inside, like some slight caring for his sister. But that would be like super strange as he seems to really hate her.
Yeah, I didn't get that sense.
Mm-hmm.
He seemed very calm, and he was thinking a lot about Joffrey, and I think not a whole lot about his sister, but maybe I'm just not remembering it right. But, I mean, something he definitely wasn't concerned about was his own safety, I guess. Like, he thinks about it briefly, like in passing, but he does not linger on it at all.
No, he just forgets about it as soon as it comes.
Yeah. And, he does nothing to try to help.
Nope. Just watches.
So I feel like he's just curious.
The chalice a little.
Yeah, so he's curious. He's trying to figure out what did it, right?
Yeah, like what?
So that's kind of what I feel like it is. Just morbid curiosity. Did you have any other ideas or thoughts?
No, that was the one idea I had, was like, is there some part of him that cares for his sister?
Right.
But I really doubt it.
I mean, I do think there is, but I don't think that's what held him back at this moment.
No. Maybe it was a morbid curiosity. See his dead nephew.
Yeah.
Make sure he was dead.
And I do think that Tyrion loves himself more than he loves Cersei. So if he were to pick between himself or being there for Cersei, then I think he would have run.
Agreed.
Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. If you want more of the podcast, please follow us on Instagram. You can follow the podcast at TIGBAB Podcast or follow us individually. My handle is Crimby and Jess's is just.egan24. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search TIGBAB Podcast or Tea is Good, Books Are Better, and we will show up there. Also, please subscribe to our good friend Bahrami on YouTube. He's the one who made our jingle, which you heard at the start of the episode, and he makes some really cool music. That's Bahram. You can also find him on Spotify as Bahrambient. That's Bahrambient. And please check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/teaisgoodbooksarebetter. We have a few different tea-themed tiers with fun rewards, including outtakes, BTS stuff, and mini-episodes in which we force our brother to watch Game of Thrones, which he absolutely hates. So it makes for some fun discussions/arguments. Finally, if you would be willing to share the podcast with your family and your friends, it would be a huge help to us to grow the podcast. Thank you so much. Join us next time to see what happens to Sansa and Tyrion after, now that they are going to be arrested.
Murder?
They're accused of murder.
King slaying?
Accused of regicide.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my favorite word. All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye!